Have you ever wondered what it's really like to sail to other countries? To dive amazing locations and explore the world on a yacht? Then come with us.
It is Tuesday morning and we think we have a weather window, so we are going to Tonga on Friday. But it means we've got quite a few sort of those little last minute things to do that you really can only do last minute. So I have contacted Tonga to say that we're coming. I have emailed New Zealand Customs to book in for Friday morning for a departure. I haven't heard back from them yet. Just making the morning coffee. It is a horrible day here in New Zealand weather-wise. It's literally going to pour with rain all day. And we've got, lots of things to do. So yesterday we went and picked up a whole lot of hammers, women's clothing, baby clothing, guitar string, lots of glasses of different magnification for reading, kids' clothes there, and some men's t-shirts. And then if the weather improves today or tomorrow when we're out doing other bits and pieces, we'll try and get some more tools, maybe some sandpaper, maybe some toys like balls and stuff that we can give away. Lots of things to give away to the villagers once we get there. So that was yesterday. And then today I'm going to reactivate our Iridium so that we've got a backup connectivity, because we're pretty sure Starlink's not going to work all the way to Tonga. And that'll allow us to do the predicted wind and the tracking and get our weather every day.
It's not very nice out there. So none of the models are showing past the 18th of May at the moment.
And we're leaving on the
And we're leaving on this coming Thursday. So what's that? The
Friday.
11th? Friday.
The 12th.
12th, right. All of them agree that from Friday through to about Wednesday, Thursday, we've just got light winds into some good quality sailing, basically. The problem is, from Thursday the 18th of May onwards, it looks like we're in pretty solid east-southeasterlies that are low to high 20s, and depending on where you're going, they could be as high as 30s, but it doesn't actually show us the data past that. It's just showing us the wind model. So a high pressure system rotates anti-clockwise, and a low pressure system in the southern hemisphere rotates clockwise. And so what ends up happening is you end up, when the two get close together, if you've got a high going like this, and then you've got a low going like this, where they get together, you end up with a pinch, where your winds will be a lot higher. You can see here, this is a low pressure system spinning around. Down here we've got a big high, creating those sort of southeasterly trade winds. Where they come together, that's where you're getting very, very, very strong winds. So close to that low, there you go, you've got 38 knots, and that's not gusts, that's continuous 38 knots. So that's what we're trying to both avoid and also keep our eye on. I've also been having a close look on a regular basis at the Australian Bureau of Meteorology and their 4-day synoptic chart, because it gives us an idea of what are the pressure systems coming through from the west, i.e. Australia, across towards New Zealand. So here you can see 10 p.m. on Friday, we've got a high, that's the high that we want to be riding out of New Zealand. It's followed by a low there. There's no big lows up here at the moment, but there are some cold fronts which relate to lows. So there's 3 lows obviously just beneath there. They'll probably be too low to affect us, but it's this higher section that's going to be our area of focus. What are your current thoughts about our Friday departure?
Still happy to depart on Friday, but we just need to watch what's happening late next week. There's a lot of rain in that low too. I'd like to see rain.
Well, I mean, that would be good because we haven't had much rain in the last 4 months.
How do you feel about that, Jamie?
I'm not sure if you're being condescending or cheeky. How do you feel about that, Jamie? My only concern is that low, the movement of that low up near Tonga. So we need to watch this very, very closely the next few days, because if that comes straight towards, or is predicted to come straight towards us, then this is a no-go for the window. The rest of it I'm quite happy with. There'll be parts that will be sporty, but we can't leave if we've got a massive, really strong low that's going to come straight towards us. We're not going to intentionally head into 40 plus knots. That's just crazy. We don't have a time frame. We're frustrated. We want to get out of New Zealand. We want some warmth. We want some tropics. We want to get out of this place. However, we just need to be disciplined not to make a silly decision.
A little charging day, because the weather's so bad today, to make sure that all the things that we use frequently on passage, especially the backup stuff like the big torch, the backup GPS, the backup handheld VHF, and the Iridium, our satellite phone, are all charged and ready to go, and we'll be testing them all a bit later once they're fully charged. I was thinking about going out to do some jobs, because we have jobs to do. Just thought I'd have a look at the rain radar, because it's a bit wet out there at the moment. So currently on the website it has a severe thunderstorm warning, a heavy rain warning, a road snowfall warning, a heavy rain watch, a heavy snow watch, a severe thunderstorm watch, a thunderstorm outlook, and a severe weather outlook. I don't know that I'm going to go into it at the moment.
I decided to invent one more job to do before we go to Tonga. And that is, as soon as we're offshore, obviously we don't have access to a water hose from a marina for the purpose of cleaning the boat. But we do have plenty of fresh water on board, and we have a water maker, so that's not really our problem. We do have a deck wash pump, which is down beneath Denise's changing room. However, it's salt water, and we disconnected that a long, long time ago, and we don't want to be washing the deck with salt water anyway. So I'm going to convert that to fresh water. So what I have put together is this is part of the original filter that went into the water pump. That will now take its water from our freshwater hose. So I've put all this together. I now need to cut our freshwater hose pipe and install this so that fresh water will then go into the deck wash, enabling us to wash the boat using a hose, or in fact even a high pressure washer. So it's always a bit nerve-wracking actually cutting an existing item that works perfectly, and if we don't get it back together right, we have no fresh water. Plenty of fresh water outside, it's still pissing with rain. Here we go. Turn that water pump off. Drain the pressure. We will leave that on for the moment. Here are hot and cold water hoses. This is the one that we're going to be tapping into, the cold water hose. And this will then come from here back under me to where the pressure pump is. Okay, here we go. Water will come out just because it's the lowest point in the boat. With a lot more pressure than I would like, actually.
A lot of hose to drain. Settling down?
No, not really.
Okay, we'll just hurry up then. Otherwise we're just losing water.
Do this as carefully as possible. Get a straight edge and not cut myself. Always double hose clamp in opposing directions. Turn the water back on. Uninterrupted water flow. Turn that off. Is it leaking? Well, that is looking rock solid. No leaks there. Tap's working. Alright, let's turn the tap. Okay, turn it off. So far, water definitely comes out. We haven't tried it also pressing the deck wash button to power it. We'll check that. New Zealand Met Service were forecasting further lightning storms, so I thought I'd keep an eye on the Sky Tower.
So it looks like we actually are leaving tomorrow after a lot of conflicting weather information and reports and random stuff. General consensus seems to be it's going to be pretty good. Maybe a day in about a week's time, but that day might not eventuate because it's so far out. So we're going to give it a crack. So we've done a lot of last minute jobs today, none of which we've filmed because we've been very busy scurrying around. But we need to sell the car. So we've got an appointment booked at 2. Jamie's currently out there polishing off a few little scratches, and I'm hoping he's got everything he needs because we've run out of time. So I'm going to go and meet him at the car. And I think I've got everything that we need. So let's go. Wouldn't believe the weather today. It has howled with wind. Last of that big southerly cold front's going through. It's hailed twice with lightning storm overnight. It's currently sunny again. It's the weirdest day. But having said that, Auckland's like that. Someone said to us, if you don't like the weather in Auckland, wait an hour and it'll change and you'll get a whole new season. Actually pretty true.
And so hopefully they give us the same amount of money that they suggested they would 3 weeks ago when we went to see this company. It's a large company that buys and sells cars. So we will see how the negotiation goes. But we really need to sell it today because we're leaving tomorrow.
Someone's selling it today. Getting the car washed.
Car is sold.
Dun dun dun.
All done. Last little bit of grocery top up.
It's raining again.
It's raining, of course. Freezing cold. Hopefully we're off tomorrow morning.
Oh, so wet. What's happening?
Well, I'm plugging the power cable that's looped through the line here so that we can lower the dinghy and pump up Lily before our departure tomorrow morning.
Hopefully, last night in Auckland, and we are going out for a final dinner. Not a last meal, because that sounds ominous. A final dinner in a nice restaurant with nice food, wearing sort of nice clothes, but I've had to keep my jeans on because I don't have to wear boots because it's so cold. Let's go while it's not raining.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Our list of major provisions for the Tonga trip include fresh vegetables, fruit and meat, 9 nights of pre-cooked meals, 3 weeks of emergency provisions, 600 litres of water, 40 litres of emergency water, wine, beer, soft drink, 515 litres of diesel, 45 litres of petrol, medical supplies, tools and parts. We have just been cleared out of customs immigration, so we're doing our last minute jobs. Just going to give the boat a bit of a clean, top up the water tanks, drop off some rubbish and give our little fobs back to the marina, and we'll be heading off on our, we hope, 11-day passage to Tonga.
And most importantly, I found some blankets because it's going to be very cold while we're on passage.
We're driving out of the marina now, finally. Just going to get a little bit of fuel and then we are properly off. Goodbye Auckland and goodbye New Zealand. Although the temperature is quite cool, I do find it ironic that this is probably one of the nicest days from a weather perspective we've had in the last 2 or 3 months, and it's the day we're leaving. But that's okay. We'd much rather have really good weather at sea and be safely tucked away as we were when the really bad weather goes through. So hopefully this is a good omen that we're in for as pleasant a passage as we possibly can. We've got 1100 nautical miles to go, although it's probably going to be increased by another, I'm guessing, 200 nautical miles, because to avoid a front in about a week's time we'll have to bear off in a different direction, which will actually be almost totally the wrong direction. But if we can do that to avoid bad weather, then that's obviously a really good way to go. get this head sail happening, hey? I will ease her out, see if we can get some breeze in here.
Take me home, I wanna ride it. I don't wanna know, ride it. Just lose control, ride it, catch my soul, ride it, make me feel you, ride it. Turn the lights down low, ride it, from head to toe, ride it.
I've just put the spinnaker up because despite not meant to be having any wind today, got really nice wind from behind the boat, so we do some nice sweet downwind sailing with the spinnaker. I'm going to bring down the New Zealand flag. We are checked out of the country. Hopefully in 8 to 10 days time we can put up the Tonga one. One small step for man.
Another one bites the dust. Well, it's just after midnight on our first night at sea. In about 4.5 months. You never really sleep on your first night, especially when we haven't been on the boat, you know, sailing for quite some time. We've still got the spinnaker up, sitting quite happily. We've got about 7 knots of current wind, and we're doing probably on average about 6.5, which is pretty good. We were going as quick as sort of 8 to 10 earlier in the day, in the evening. Moon's just come up. Behind us is a ship that's just passed. I think it's called the Alaska, doing about 11-12 knots. It's passed about 5 nautical miles behind us. Got thermals on, a couple of jumpers, a pair of tracksuit pants, wet weather pants over the top of that, obviously jacket, harnessed up, and we've just knocked off the first 100 nautical miles, so we've got 996 to go.
Good morning. Sorry, beanie slippage. Spinnaker up almost the whole way so far, and the wind has just started to drop a bit. We're still doing 6 knots almost, so we're going to keep the spinnaker going while Jamie has his 4 till 6 a.m. nap. And I've just called the monohull that's sort of been sneaking up next to us and had a bit of a chat to them, just so that they know that we're here and that we're flying spinnaker, so we can't really move very much. Don't know what sort of sails they got up. It wasn't the chattiest of people I spoke to, but he did say he'd just gotten up from his nap, so probably doesn't know what's happening and was all a bit bleary-eyed. Sea state is, I'd go beautiful. It's a clear sky, and although I had no moon on my 8 till midnight shift, it is now up. It's a half moon. But because we had a clear sky, even the stars gave us enough light that we weren't sort of sailing through darkness. Other than that, uneventful night, and it was a bit oomy for a couple of hours there, but that seems to have settled down, so all is good with the world.
Join us next week as we hit a major storm on day 8 of our passage to Tonga. Please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and place a comment below.